day, Philippines. Hello, Region 1. Aloha, San Carlinian learners. Airing live from the Mango Bamboo capital of the Philippines, San Carlos City. You're tuning in to CCN Broadcast Center, a virtual home of every SDO-SEC learner, where passion is the key. Learning paves the way. With our division mantra, developing creativity, maximizing versatility. This is your CCN Broadcast Center. CCN Broadcast Center, a virtual home of every SDO-SEC learner.
Hello learners! It's a wonderful afternoon. Welcome to another fun-filled learning episode only here at Carlos and Carlene Network. I'm your teacher, Sir Lester Sison, and for today's learning episode, we will explore an interesting lesson in Earth and Life Science designed for you, our dear grade 11 learners. But first things first, you need your Module 6 in Earth and Life Science, a ball pen, and a notebook. Alright, very good. All is set. Let's get this started. Our lesson, as you can read from the title of your module, is all about Earth's internal heat. Specifically, let us all be guided by this most essential learning competency. Describe where the Earth's internal heat comes from. We are tasked to learn the following objectives. Identify the sources of Earth's internal heat, describe the parts and function of Earth's interior layers, and appreciate the importance of Earth's internal heat in everyday living. Let us familiarize ourselves to the lesson by playing a familiar game to everyone. Let's play Your Place Looks Familiar. You heard it right. So let me read to you the mechanics of our activity. So what to do? I'll be showing you pictures of places. For 10 seconds, you are going to analyze each picture and answer the following questions. First, what is the place called? Second, where can we find this place? And the third question, what is in the place? Are you ready? Okay, let's go. So, for 10 seconds, analyze this picture and think of your answer for the 3 questions. Okay, so let's analyze this. First question, what is the place called? So this place is called the Manlalwag Hot Spring. Second question, where can we find this place? So where can we find the Manlalwag Hot Spring? It's in, very good, Mga Tarem, Pangasinan. Third question, what is in the place? As you can see in the picture, there are people bathing. Specifically, there is a natural hot spring where people enjoy for bathing. Okay, nice start. Second picture, 10 seconds. Alright, time's up. Let us answer the questions. What is the place called? So this is the Taal Lake. Very good. Second question, where can we find this place? So the Taal Lake can be found in Talisay, Batangas. Third question, what is in the place as you can see in the picture? Alright, there is an eruption of the Taal volcano. Next, we have our last picture. 10 seconds. Time's up. Let us answer those questions. What is the place called? So this is the Mount Apo Geothermal Power Plant. Where can we find this place? It's in Kidapawan City, North Cotabato. Next, what is in the place? As you can see in the picture, there are machineries harnessing geothermal heat. But did you know that the Philippines has 7 geothermal power plants which supply the 12% of the country's total energy? Wow, that's an amazing fact. Okay, thank you for answering those questions. Now, among those pictures of different places presented to you, what can we conclude about the Earth? So, for picture number 1, we can see a hot spring. For picture number 2, there is a volcanic eruption. For picture number 3, there is a geothermal power plant. Alright, very good. The Earth has its own internal heat. We can conclude that the Earth has its own internal heat. But there is a big question. And what is that question? Where does the Earth's internal heat come from? Let us answer this question through an exciting activity. Examining the Earth. But before we proceed to this exciting activity, please answer this question first. How many minutes is needed to perfectly cook a hard-boiled egg? 5 seconds to think of your answer. Okay, so the answer is 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, for this activity, what we need is a hard-boiled egg. So I've already prepared that before our lesson. And then what are you going to do? We are going to identify the parts of the Earth's interior layers through a comparative illustration using a hard-boiled egg. Okay, so we are being guided by these questions. So let's think of these questions. What does the cracked eggshell represent? Second, what does the egg white represent? And then the third, what does the egg yolk represent? Okay, let's go over these illustrations. So you can see from the illustrations the Earth's interior layers and the layers of a hard-boiled egg. Let us label first the layers of the egg and compare it to the Earth's layers. So the egg and its parts, we have the eggshell, we have the egg white, and the egg yolk. Now, the question is, what does the eggshell represent when it comes to the Earth's interior layers? It represents the crust. Very good. How about the egg white? The egg white represents the mantle of the Earth. All right, excellent. Now, how about the egg yolk? The egg yolk represents the outer core and inner core of the Earth's interior layers. Now, let us describe more the function of each interior layers of the Earth. So the crust, as you can see in the screen, it is the outermost and thinnest layer of the Earth. It provides the Earth heat from radioactive decay of elements. How about the mantle? The mantle, as you can compare it to the hard-boiled egg, it's very thick. So it is the thickest layer of Earth with temperatures of 1,000 degrees Celsius to 3,700 degrees Celsius. It provides the thermal and mechanical driving force for plate tectonics. The outer core, it is composed of liquefied metals with temperatures of 4,500 degrees Celsius to 5,000 degrees Celsius. It provides the Earth's magnetic field. And last, the inner core is composed of solidified metals with temperature of 5,200 degrees Celsius. What does it do? it provides the energy for the outer core to produce magnetic field. So based on what we have learned from examining the Earth, let us answer the previous question. Where does the Earth's internal heat come from? Alright, very good. So the Earth's internal heat comes from its interior layers, namely the crust, the mantle, the outer core, and then the inner core. But here's another question. Where does all of this heat came from? To answer that, let's have another amazing activity. Okay, so what are the sources of heat of the Earth's interior layers? So this will be answered by our next activity. We call it Module Legends. But before we proceed to Module Legends activity, I have here a question for you. What module covers the lesson about Earth's internal heat? 5 seconds. Alright, it is module number 6. Yan. What we need is our module number 6, Earth's internal heat. And to tell us what we need to do, we have our friend Valir to give us instructions. Okay, so let us read the lines of Valir. He said, "Welcome to Module Legends. 5 seconds to turn your module to page 8. Please read the first 2 sentences of paragraphs 3 and 4. So let's take a look on page 8. Please turn your module to page 8 and let us all read the first 2 sentences of paragraphs 3 and 4. Okay? So join me in reading. Sources of heat in our planet can be identified as primordial and radiogenic heat. During the early formation of the Earth, the internal heat energy that gradually gathered together by means of dispersion in the planet during its few million years of evolution is called primordial heat. Next, for the 4th paragraph, first 2 sentences, let us all read. On the other hand, the thermal energy released as a result of spontaneous nuclear disintegration is called radiogenic heat. It involves the disintegration of natural radioactive elements inside the Earth, like uranium, thorium, and potassium. To further understand the concept, let's take a look with this illustration. So I have here the model of the Earth, and we have 2 sources of internal heat. We have the primordial heat and radiogenic heat. Primordial heat involves the release of accretional energy. Okay. Accretional energy is the energy released during the early formation of the Earth. So primordial heat comes mostly from the inner core, outer core, and then the lower mantle. Radiogenic heat, however, involves the spontaneous nuclear disintegration. What does it mean? It involves the radioactive decay of radioactive elements of Earth that produce heat. Okay, this happens mostly in the upper mantle and then the crust of the Earth. Okay, let us now answer our previous question. What are the sources of heat of the Earth's interior layers? Alright, so the sources of heat of the Earth's interior layers are primordial heat and radiogenic heat. With all of these things we have learned about Earth's internal heat, there's still a question. Is the Earth's internal heat important to our everyday living? Why do we need to study it? To answer this question, let us reflect. Okay. What is the importance of the Earth's internal heat to our everyday living? So the Earth's internal heat is like the love of a mother. Can you describe the love of your mother? Okay. Okay, that's very heartfelt. We need to remember the 3 M's of the love of a mother in connection to the importance of Earth's internal heat to our everyday living. So the love of a mother moves mountains. Just like the love of a mother, the Earth's internal heat also moves mountains. How? It moves plate tectonics that create beautiful landforms such as mountains, volcanoes, hills, and etc. Second, the love of a mother maintains protection. Also, the Earth's internal heat protects us from what? It maintains the Earth's magnetic field that protects us from harmful radiation from the sun. And last, the love of a mother makes warmth. The Earth's internal heat makes what? Makes geothermal energy, which is useful for humans. Geothermal energy is used to generate electricity. We use it for bathing, we go for natural hot springs, we go swimming, and we use it to heat buildings. And it's a renewable resource of energy. Okay, so let's summarize the things we have learned today by answering the questions. We're just going back to the questions we have answered a while ago. First question, where does the Earth's internal heat come from? Alright, the Earth's internal heat comes from its interior layers, namely the crust, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. Second question, what are the sources of heat of the Earth's interior layers? So we have 2 sources. What are those? The sources of heat of the Earth's interior layers are primordial heat and radiogenic heat. Last, what is the importance of the Earth's internal heat to our everyday living? So we have three important things to remember when we are going to understand the importance of Earth's internal heat to our everyday living. What are those? Just remember the love of your mother. The 3 M's. First, it moves plate tectonics necessary in the formation of landforms. 2, it maintains the Earth's magnetic field that protects us from harmful radiation. And then the third one, it makes geothermal energy, which is useful for humans. Okay, we all learned that. Now, let's test your understanding of the lesson through a short quiz. So what are we going to do? What are you going to do? Rather, you are going to choose the letter of the correct answer and type your answer in the comment box. Okay, you have 5 seconds to think of your answer. I'm going to read the question once. First question, what is produced by the radioactive decay of isotopes in the mantle and crust? A, heat from the sun. B, primordial heat. C, radiogenic heat. D, superheating. 5 seconds to think of your answer. Okay, the correct answer is letter C, radiogenic heat. Just remember the keyword there, radioactive decay of isotopes. It means it is the heat that is produced by radioactive decay, radiogenic heat. Second question. Which of the following heat is generated during the initial formation of the Earth? A, heat from the sun. B, primordial heat. C, radiogenic heat. D, superheating. 5 seconds to think your answer. Okay, time's up. The correct answer is letter B, primordial heat. Okay, remember the keyword there, the generated heat during the initial formation of the Earth. Third question, which of the following is not true about the Earth's interior layers? A, the crust is the outermost and thinnest layer of the Earth. B, the mantle is the thickest layer of the Earth. C, the outer core is composed of solidified metals. D, the inner core is made of solidified metals due to immense heat. 5 seconds. Okay, what's your answer? The correct answer is Letter C, the outer core is composed of solidified metals. As we have all learned, the outer core is not solid. Rather, it is liquid. It is liquefied due to immense heat, due to high temperatures in the outer core. Fourth question, why does the Earth's internal heat important to our everyday living? A, it supplies the energy for the formation of landforms such as mountains and volcanoes. B, it maintains the Earth's magnetic field. C, it is a renewable source of geothermal energy. D, all of the above. 5 seconds. Alright, it's an easy question. The answer is letter D, all of the above. All of the mentioned things it is the importance of Earth's internal heat to our everyday living. And last, let's have the fifth question. How many percent do the geothermal power plants in the Philippines contribute to the country's total energy use or the country's energy use? A, 2%, B, 6%, C, 8%, D, 12%. 5 seconds to think of your answer. Alright. What's your answer? Okay, going back to the first activity. Your place looks familiar. The answer is letter D, 12%. Now, to enrich us more of our lesson, let us take this activity as your assignment. Okay. So, you are going to choose from the following enrichment activities based on your talents. The title of our activity is I Can Make It. So, you can make a poster. So, for visual special learners, you are going to create a poster illustrating concepts about the Earth's internal heat. And for verbal linguistic or musical learners, you're going to compose a song about the Earth's internal heat. And then for naturalistic learners, who is Mother Nature friendly, you are going to research on the internet about the recent Taal volcano eruption. Make a short reaction paper relating the phenomenon to Earth's internal heat. So, here is the scoring rubrics for the activity. Okay. After you have finished your activity, you can upload your outputs online through this Google Form link. Alright. There you have it, my dear grade 11 learners. Thank you for your active participation to our lesson. I am Sir Lester Sison, leaving you with this quote from Lawrence Stern. Heat is in proportion to the want of true knowledge. What does it mean? If you really want to know, if you really want to learn, ignite the passion, the heat in yourselves, the passion of learning in yourselves. Thank you and have a good day. Ilang minutes?
26.
26.
Pero
Salamat. May mga pagkakamali ako.
Bantayan mo lang ani sa
Good day, Philippines. Hello, Region 1. Aloha, San Carlinian learners.
Okay
Airing
na.
live from the mango bamboo capital of the Philippines, San Carlos City. You're tuning into CCN Broadcast Center, a virtual home of every SDO-SEC learner, where passion is the key. Learning paves the way. With our division mantra, developing creativity, maximizing versatility. This is your CCN Broadcast Center. CCN Broadcast Center, a virtual home of every SDO-SEC learner.